Mr. Bradshaw at addSomeToYourIncome.com here to talk about and decide about you should choose to make more money or do what you love. And I'm going to say it's a long process, and I'm going to weigh it out, and we're going to look at what are the benefits of doing what you love. What are the costs to doing what you love? I'll do that by looking at some examples of people that you might know and what they've done. And then what do we talk about when we're saying making more money? Shouldn't we be making more money? There are definite benefits to that. Hi, I'm Mr. Bradshaw with addSomeToYourIncome.com. You know I have plenty to say about making more money. This is not an easy decision, and I will give you my opinion at the end. Let's dive in. Where we're focusing when we talk about making more money in the three incomes is labor income. As you work and you make more money. At least that's the first thing I thought I was going to say. However, there is passive and gift income that comes to you based on what you're doing in your life. Let's just keep that in mind as I dive in to talk about some real life examples as we look at mostly for the most part. I'm stumbling on what I've been saying here. We're going to be looking at those who have chosen to either make lots of money or have chosen to do what they love. I was talking with my mentor. He was mentioning he worked with John Deere managers, and he was talking with them and found they are all making over 100,000 a year. So they're making six-figure incomes, and they were all unhappy. Just in his quick little survey of them and working with the John Deere company, he's like, we need to help you guys find a more satisfying job if you are unhappy. And the point is that I'm making about this, they were making 100,000 a year or more. There's been a number of research articles about the study done in 2012 about at what point do you make enough money that another dollar doesn't really increase your happiness. And in 2012, for the average American, it was $75,000 a year. If you're not making $75,000 a year, do what you can to make more money, and it will, according to this study and some other evidence that has backed up that particular study, make you happier, right? And that's just happier in life. It's not necessarily saying, you're doing what you love. So let me get into a couple examples of people who did what they loved. That's what they chose in life. And let's talk about someone who's out of this world. Literally, Neil Armstrong. First person to step on the moon. He was my age when he did this. I watched a documentary about this whole thing, and it was really fun to get to know Neil Armstrong and to find out he had his pilot's license before his driver's license. And to know just more of his story, his daughter passed away on his wedding anniversary, the long period of time that he was gone from home to visit the moon, and that he came back and still had to quarantine for another 14 days. His wife being an unsung hero, if you've seen the movie about Neil Armstrong, and it's fairly true to it, and the documentary on his life talked about it too. So how did Neil Armstrong get there? Well, he loved flying. He loved it more than driving, right? It was what he did. It's who he was. He went for what he loved, and that he was picked. There was an interesting little comment about one of the interviewers commented about that he wasn't the best qualified. They just connected well with him and knew he would do great on the team because of who he was. So it wasn't that he was the best, but he was the best fit. I hope that helps some of you right now. Like, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the top to become great at what you're doing and be doing what you love. Another video I watched, a little documentary, it was the world's fastest Indian from India, a gentleman who built motorcycles and built them really fast and brought his to the salt flats to race and still holds the world record as the fastest motorcycle in that size or whatever, as he went at about 200 miles an hour on his homemade motorcycle. Wow, what a story. It was great. It was great to see it, the way the movie put it together. I just kind of stumbled on this when I was looking at movies to watch. I recommend it. This is a gentleman who kind of gave up a lot of other things in life. He had to do what he loved. And then he became known as the world's fastest Indian. And from then on, he received money to help him to continually do this. We're going to take a little journey here as I hope to show this YouTube video. And I'm just kind of curious of how, that's not it. This is the next thing I'm going to is one day on Mercury lasts for 1,408 hours, which is about a month on Earth. So what are you choosing to do? How are you choosing to spend your day? Right? And if it's a day in Mercury, it might put it into perspective. How are you going to choose to spend the month? Right. But let's see if I can get this to, maybe I need to, let me try something else real quick. I'm just going to click out and see if I can click straight over into it. This is where some editing later is going to be great. All right, we'll do it from here.
Last night, I had the craziest dream.
Did you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want?
Just want to sound check, Mr. Dustin.
Okay, folks, today is the day we make history.
If you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life.
I'm legend!
I love what he's doing there. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. But are you guaranteed to make enough money? Are you going to even make $75,000 a year? You become a teacher? My position that I'm in, I'm this small, like the little person in the corner. And yet, I love what I do. Don't let me change your mind, though. Let's continue forward. I don't dream at night. I dream at day. I dream all day. I'm dreaming for living, said Steven Spielberg. There are these few people in the world who have not just gone with status quo, who break out of the mold and become themselves. They become the Steven Spielbergs, the Neil Armstrongs, the Kevin James. They become something everyone else notices because they are doing what they love. They work really hard at it. This all came to a really big moment in my life, which was at the rodeo. That's my little title here to remind me of this story. So we went to the rodeo, we took the kids to the rodeo, and at the very end, after we saw little tiny kids grabbing sheep, it's called mutton busting, after we saw older kids grabbing cattle, if they could get one, they could take it home. After we saw all of the events, the very last thing is the bull riding. The very last bull ride of the evening, the announcer said, if this rider rides this bull for 8 seconds, he will make $20,000 because this bull has a bounty on its head. Imagine it, the whole audience watching. Out of the chute he comes. And these bulls are big. I mean, they're like 1.5 tons. Jumping, spinning. He's getting thrown around like a rag doll. He looks so small on this huge thing. The seconds start ticking by. 4, 1,000, 5. Crowd is just going crazy. He's doing it. He's gonna make it. 7, 1,000. And the buzzer goes off. And the crowd just goes wild. And then I'm sitting there trying not to be jealous. He just in 8 seconds made about as much money as I make an entire year. How is that possible? How could he make that much money in only 8 seconds? And that's when I realized. It was a little bit later when I was thinking about it, but I realized, okay, it wasn't 8 seconds. That was his lifetime work to get to that point. He watched videos of himself to get better. He had a mentor to get better. He got on bull after bull after bull. He got kicked out. One of the guys we saw earlier in the evening had been stepped on. I'm sure he'd been stepped on, but broken bones, back on the bull, back on the bull. He gets back on. He keeps going. He became the rider that would ride that last bull. It's because he loved what he did. Don't let me change your mind. Don't let me cause you to do anything different. But I do want you to think about, do you love what you're doing enough that you'll do it so much that you will stand out as the expert, and then you will make more money? We're not talking just a little bit more. We're talking a lot. No, you guys can't see me right now. Lots of money. Your choice of make more money is probably between a position that you wouldn't like very much, with a boss you wouldn't like, doing something you wouldn't enjoy, and that's getting stuck in a rut, most likely, for money. The people who make truly lots of money never work for money. They get money to work for them. They get other people to work for them. They find ways to solve people's problems and help them out, and they make a change and a difference in the world. And then money flows to them. Money flows to low places like a valley. Are you going to be up on that mountain like, I'm making all this money, look at me? Or are you going to be a valley where the water will flow to you because you are doing what you love? Be the artist. Go for it. We need our Picassos. He did all of that work. He kept copying other artists, that stuff that was successful, until finally he made his break when he did his paintings in blue. But first he made his money, and he did the grunge work, I call it. And then paintings in blue by Picasso. Go be the Picasso of your life. And I will see you on the other side.